He decided to do one of those slidey things harp players do. He had no idea what they were called, but they did look fun. Then he saw on the music the word glissando. So that was what it was called, a glissando.
Alright, so the technique that Cheesy Whiskers refers to as the slidey thing is actually a slide on the harp, or what we call a glissando. So usually when we play a note on the harp, we're going to just be plucking a string, but instead of plucking a single string, I can slide my finger across the strings to create a glissando. You can do glissandos going up. You can also do glissandos going down, which is what you hear when Cheesy Whiskers falls off the harp. You can also do a bunch of glissandos all together by switching between the hands. So one interesting thing about the harp is that harpists only use 4 fingers, so we don't actually use our pinky on the harp. Now this is kind of what makes the harp a little bit different from piano, because pianists use all 5 fingers. Harpists only use 4, so that means that harp music has to be a little bit different from piano music just because we use fewer fingers. The reason for that is because our hand position on the harp and the way that we play the strings is a little bit different than on the piano. And you see how my pinky finger just doesn't really fit on the harp very well. The pinky is also a pretty weak finger, so that means that it just isn't quite strong enough at this angle to be able to play.
Then he noticed her feet. I didn't notice she used her feet as well, he said to himself. Her feet were lifting up and down on 7 gold, shining pedals.
So the pedals on the harp are actually a way that we can change the pitch or the actual sound of the strings. So if I play the C and the pedal is in the middle, it's a different sound than if the pedal is down. And you notice that my hand is playing the exact same string every time. So when Cheesy Whiskers comes and jumps on the pedal, that's why the harp ends up playing a different sound than what Danielle expected. And Cheesy Whiskers actually jumped on it. She was expecting this sound. Cheesy Whiskers jumped and gave her that sound.
Jumped with all his might onto the C pedal.
So another funny thing about the harp is that it's actually really tricky to get from the top of the harp to the bottom.
How am I supposed to play that? It was a big double glissando for both hands going down with a very high note at the end.
And the reason for that is because I'm trying to balance the harp as well as play. So if I'm trying to go down here, my hands have to still jump up. So that means at the very end of the piece, I actually need Cheesy Whiskers to help me out because I have a glissando that's going all the way down here. And then really quickly, there's a note up here. And I need a little helper for that.